In this video, we'll try to create a shapes table and create a visual out of it. And in the shapes table, first we'll create the shapes table, and also later on we'll add a couple of custom rows. Let us go to modeling tab and click on modeling tab and click on a new table. So once we have that, we can create a new table. So I was just thinking, we have a shapes column in our UFO sightings dataset. So let us try to grab those values from that table. So let us try to use values function and try to get those distinct values from the shapes column. That way we have a separate table which has all the shapes. So let us try to name that as shapes table. Since we are trying to add custom rows, let us try to name it appropriately. We'll say that shapes table with custom rows. And the first step, we'll try to just create a simple table by using values function. We'll create that table values, and let us try to grab the shape column from our UFO sightings. Close the parenthesis and commit to it. Once we commit, we have the table. So this is the new table. And if you see in the table view, we have those values. I think there are 25 shapes, so you can see all those shapes. So now that this is out of the way, next step is we want to add custom rows. There are a couple of methods which where we can add custom rows to this table. So let us try to use one of those methods. And let us try to go back to our table, and let us try to modify this. Let us use union function. As you can understand, union, we can add two tables. So we know that this is the first table, values UFO shapes, that's the first table. And let us use a row function. And row function, we expect a name and an expression. It returns a single row table. So let us create the name as shape. And also let us try to create the new row. Let us name it as other spin. So that way we have those that particular role on the bottom. So other shapes, and also this is another way of adding another row. So we use the table constructor and try to use grand total. So this way we have two rows which we have added these custom rows to the table. So as you can see on the bottom, you can see those things, other shapes and grand total. So this way other shapes will use it as a bin, and grand total is there on the bottom. So we'll use it both the rows for in different visuals. So now that that is done, the next step is for us logically is to go back and look at the code again. So I think it's easy for us. So values function and row, and add those two rows up top. So we just commented those things. And now that we have done that, let us try to go to model view. And in the model view, let us try to create a relationship between the newly created table and the UFO sightings table. So since we have used a shape, that's a common column in both the tables, let us try to create a relationship. Let us drag that shape onto the shapes table shape column, and the relationship is established. The cardinality is many to one, and let us try to save this. So once we save that, that relationship is established between these two tables. Because the reason why we are doing it is that we want to use the visuals, the measures which we have already created earlier. So if you have a relationship between these two tables, it's easy for us to create use the measures and create visuals. So that is the reason why we have done that. So the next step is that we just want to make sure that we have that table, and the next step is that we want to use this shapes table and try to create a new column. So all we did is earlier we have added two custom rows and created a relationship in model view. So now that it's time for us to create a new column, and go to column tools and add this particular code. So once we have that, we'll try to name it appropriately because this is a conditional column, right? So the conditional column, it says that, hey, we will use the rank x function and try to grab the rank, and we will in the return statement we'll add condition. Say if it is less than or equal to 10, if the rank, then give me these shapes, otherwise make it put them into others bin. So that way, whatever values you want the 10 or 5 or 15 or whatever, depending on your need, you can do that. In this case, we have taken 10, so that out of 25, you have those 10 things appearing separately, and the rest of the 15 are appearing in the others bin. So that is what we wanted. I think the logic is working perfectly. And once we have that, we have created this column. And let us try to go back to the report page. And in the report page, we'll try to use a bar chart and add data to it. So let us do that. Let us click on the clustered bar chart, and in that bar chart, we have to add the data. So to the x-axis, I think we can use total sightings. Since we have a relationship between these two tables, we can use the total sightings. Let us try to drag that onto the x-axis. Perfect. So that is there. And once we have that, the next step is we use that column which we have created, conditional column, drag it onto the y-axis. As you can see already, it's appearing. These are the 10. You have all those shapes, and the rest 15 are in the others bin. Let us try to sort the axis. Let us make it as descending, and this is all like bells and whistles to the visual, right? We'll try to create the look and feel. So let us change the column color, others bin, go to that format settings, change the color to a different color, so that you have that distinctly visible that others bin is different color and the others 10 are in a different color. So add the data labels, and once we have those data labels, you have a visual bar chart which is showing you whatever conditions you have applied, right? We wanted 10, so it's showing the 10, and also it ranked by it's ranked 1 to 10, and in the others bin we have the rest of them. So now that we added a slicer to the report page, and by clicking on the slicer, those values are changing. So this is, I think, working perfectly. And once we have that, let us try to use, because we have created 2 rows, remember, we have created others bin and the table, and also we have created grand total. Now that we have done visual with others bin, the next is we'll use the grand total row also. So this is again a clustered bar chart. So you have the grand total appearing on the extreme right in the visual. So but we also need measure, right? So otherwise this won't work. So we have to create that measure. So if you click on any of those, make any selections on the slicer, those values are changing, but the underlying is there is a measure which is required for us to write, so that we can grab those values from the shapes table grand total. So this is the measure which we have written. It's a very simple one. So first is we calculate the total sightings, and the filter condition is all wrap around the shapes column in all function. So that way we have that total. And in the return statement, we have a switch statement. Say, hey, if the selected value is equal to grand total, give me that variable, the total variable which we have created up top. Otherwise, give me the total settings. So that way we have everything appearing in the visual like in a regular visual. But additionally, we also have another column which is grand total. This is I think this is the intended way. Make sure that the shape is coming from for the both visuals coming from the shapes table, so that this way the visual is working perfectly. So I think we have started with the intention of creating a table with added custom rows, which we did, and also we wanted to show them visually, both of them. So we have visual on the left and the right. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.